Hi everyone, this is the module on brand archetypes. So I'm going to start a little bit about, if you're not familiar with brand archetypes, the really simple definition is that a brand archetype is going to really help you simplify your style. It's going to naturally be able to tell you the various parts of your brand that you might not even be aware of. And it's going to identify that unique style that is going to help you best communicate to your customers. So, how it actually does this is that once you go through the template and the quiz, it's going to tell you three main things. So, the first thing is it's going to help you identify your brand values. So, what your brand values are, it's the way that your website may look in terms of the color. It may also help bring up for you what the font will look like on your website, and also it's going to be that style in the way in which you interact with your customers. So that becomes fantastic for clarity and being able to go back to that whenever you're trying to make a decision around your website. The next area that it's really going to help with is helping to identify that unique style. So sometimes it can be really easy to move back and forth unknowingly between a bunch of different styles. This is really going to help you hone in what is your most dominant style so that it makes things really simple to execute on. And sometimes you'll have those moments you're writing something, whether it be a program, something for your website, even your About Me page, and it can feel conflicting. That's usually another archetype trying to take over. So if you're very confident and you've gone through these exercises, you're going to be able to help identify which archetypes should be coming through first because they're the most dominant ones, which is going to help you just nail that language and really make those quick and easy decisions. You won't be stuck in that analysis paralysis. You'll be able to just simply execute on writing that copy or writing that program because you've identified that brand archetype. The third reason why this activity is so useful is that it will really help you narrow down your communication. When it comes to archetypes, they all communicate in different ways. So for myself, my brand archetypes are around being a creator. I'm really an artist at heart. It's all about the process, painting your own canvas. You're a blank canvas. It's all about not doing anything but what's really authentic and truthful. That is the artist side of my style type that will come through. And then I also have, second to that, a ruler personality, which is all about influence and power and leadership. So those are kind of the two style types. And as you can hear from me speaking about those, you can see how the language is a little bit different. And when it comes to writing any copy or writing programs, writing various courses, those two style types will come out. And whenever I'm struggling to find words or how to communicate to my audience, I'm always able to go back to that style type to identify exactly the type of language that I may want to use. I'll be able to nail that word very easily by going back to those style types, which saves a ton of time. It becomes a very authentic process. And I'm really able to go through the system of kind of going back to that fabric of my soul, the fabric of my brand, which makes it very easy to push forward when I'm trying to accomplish something. So all of these things are really important. There's a couple of key points when you're interacting with your brand that I think help bring your brand to life. This sort of activity is really important if you're trying to name your business. That's going to help you kind of pick those words that'll resonate most with your style and personality. It's also very helpful when you're putting together your website and you're looking at different color schemes, different fonts to use, what to call a program you're creating. Those are all very tied to that style type that you uniquely have. And as soon as you're able to hone in on it, you can absolutely use it to your advantage. Everything will become easier, and your style for the person reading what you're putting like putting down is going to be very easy to identify versus confusing people and kind of crossing paths. So those are all the reasons why this activity is really important in building your brand and something that is very concrete, it's very carved out, and it's very unique to your style. So when it comes to the template, what you're going to do is you're going to work through a series of questions. They're going to be rated from 1 to 5, 1 being you don't feel that way often, 5 being that happens all of the time. And you're going to go through and score those various questions. Then you're going to total them up, and at the end, it's going to tell you what your dominant style type is. So if you do get a tie, it's important to go back to that section, re-answer those questions as truthful as you can, and then that's going to help you see which style type is most dominant. So after you've done that, it's going to leave you with a couple of different style types or archetypes that are going to stand out. There are some accompanying websites that will help you identify. For example, you get the style type of a creator. There's a couple of examples of different creator websites so you can kind of see how that process comes to life. And then there are some accompanying templates, questions on those templates that are going to help you identify what it really is that you want to get out of this activity, those golden nuggets, the purpose of this activity. So those questions are really going to be around what colors do you see that style type uses? For me, it's a lot of black, it's a lot of white, and it's a lot of pops of color, specifically blue and gold. As you can see from even the decor in my house, that comes up a lot. It's also going to tell you a lot about the fonts. So for the creator type, for me, it's a lot of script and that kind of honest journaling sort of approach. And then also in that ruler style type, there's a lot of capitalization and kind of taking power or control over what the person is reading, right? The other area that you're going to want to look into is what type of blog post does that person post? What are they talking about? What sort of areas? So with a ruler type, it's going to be all about taking control. It's going to be about that position of power, whereas a creator type is going to be more about the passion of the process. So you're going to see those two things if in your dominant and subdominant archetypes. Those are important to document and note. So as you're going through this process even further, you'll be able to identify those things. The next area is around the type of content. So what type of content do they post? The bloggers that we've identified, and then of those, the content that they're posting, what is getting the most engagement and the most shares? So I'll give you guys a quick little story. I created a life map video, just talked a little bit about my history and how I came to do what I do now. And this video was shared the most that I've ever seen in anything I've created before for videos, which was really, really cool. It was a very just authentic look about my life, how I went from a part-time person that worked at a gym to president of a fitness company and being in charge of 8 fitness clubs across an island. So that was very shareable content, and it really related to both of those style types, being very authentic in my messaging, but also talking about how I've grown to this position of power in my career and taking control of my destiny. So that was a very good testament to say that when you identify that style type, when you know what direction it is that your brand wants to go, everything else becomes very easy. Another quick example of this would be when it comes to now titling, if it's a blog post or a video or even social media content, knowing that my style type is that creator and ruler, it becomes that much easier to write content and post. So when I created that video, my video was all about how exercise changed my life, my path from part-timer to president. So you can see in there, the artist is all about transformation. And that came across in that first part of the title. The second part was more ruler about my path from part-timer to president. There's power there. There's that taking control situation as well. So that really came through for me after I had done that exercise. So I hope this video was extremely helpful for you. And there are definitely more modules just like this to help make sure you get your fitness marketing right. There's a couple of places you can find me. Definitely make sure to check out the YouTube channel. There's also a Facebook group of fitness leaders and professionals that are just like you and have lots of good questions. There's lots of content and value being shared there. And then you can also find me on Instagram at the Ashley Shaw. And down below this video, you'll have all the social media links so you can make sure to find this content. And I look forward to chatting with you guys soon. Good luck.